Happy Friday! My name's Peter Jobst. I'm your IT consultant, and thank you for watching our channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to post your comments. They're very important to us. And today we're talking about episode 3, about opening your office. And today we're going to talk about starting up the internet connection being installed. We're going to talk about firewalls. We're going to talk about the switches, and we're going to talk about the access points. So let's just get into it, and let's talk about turning up that circuit. When they say they're going to deliver the circuit on Tuesday the 12th, you're going to want to go in and meet them there. And when they turn in the circuit, when they turn it up, you're going to want to plug in your laptop into it, so there's no other equipment connected to it, but just your laptop connected to their router, and you're going to run your speed tests on it. And when you run your speed tests on it, you want to make sure that you are getting the speeds that you are paying for. You want to get the speeds, and you also want to look at the latency. There's going to be a little number that is the time to live, and it will be something like a really good speed is 3 milliseconds, 6 milliseconds is good, 20 milliseconds is pretty bad. If you're seeing anything around 30 milliseconds or 60 milliseconds, it's terrible, and there's probably a problem with that circuit. So when you get that, you're going to plug in your laptop, you're going to run videos, you're going to watch high-res 4K YouTube videos on it, and you're going to try to stress this circuit, right? You're going to go and get a big upload file, and you're going to push that up into your Dropbox folder, or into your Google Drive, and you want to push like a 1 gig file and see how long it takes and what is the throughput that is happening, because you do not want to let that technician walk out that door without you having proved that that's a good circuit, because to get him back in the door is going to be a long delay, and that might delay the opening of your office. So now we're going to talk about, you have the internet connection, you prove that it's good. What's the first thing that you got to plug into it? The first thing you got to plug into it is, here's an example of a firewall. And you're going to get your internet circuit, and you're going to plug in the WAN port into your internet, or a lot of times it says WAN, W-A-N, on your router or your firewall. So you take your internet connection and you connect it into the WAN internet connection on your firewall. And this firewall is going to do a couple things. It's going to share that internet connection to everybody in your office. It's also going to protect you from people on the outside being able to see your equipment on the network. So there's other things in firewalls that also do that, actually inspect all the packets that come in to make sure that if you are sent a link to go to download some malware, it's actually going to block you from that site and say, stop, that site is known for malware, don't go there, don't download this file. On this thing, you'll also have your your LAN ports. On the LAN ports, this is where all the computers are going to be plugged into. And what happens here is that you take your LAN ports and then you hook them into a switch. So I'm going to show you a switch here right now. All right, so here's an example of a 48 port switch. This is a power over Ethernet switch, which means that this can power the access points. This can power up voice over IP phones. And there's a small amount of power that actually runs over each one of these ports. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take that LAN port, and what we usually do is that we usually run into usually one of the last ports, and we set that as our trunk port. So you're going to connect your firewall, and then every one of these ports is going to hand out a LAN IP address. So when you plug in a computer to it, you would get an IP address, you'd get out on the internet, and you'd be able to surf. As we saw earlier, this is what's going to be plugged into your patch panel. So you're going to have your patch panel up here, and you're going to plug into each one of these. So each one of these ports is going to go to one of the jacks that's on the wall. Finally, let's take a look at the access point. This is an example of a Cisco Meraki access point. Kind of looks like this. They have these nice little connector here. You screw this to the ceiling, you come put this in here and lock it into place, and that way it'll sit kind of like that. On here you can see that there's an Ethernet port in here. This Ethernet port is what connects over that cabling you had, powers it up, and gives it the internet connection. That's why this has a good internet connection, because this is broadcasting a strong signal from, because it's connected on an Ethernet port. And those are what you're going to have to get your office up and running. Once you have all these in place, you have your internet circuit, you have your firewall that shares your internet connection and keeps you safe, plugs into the switch. The switch goes and links into all the network jacks. So somebody plugs into that jack, and then also plugs into your wireless access point, which gives you the wireless access. That's your network. Now you have an internet connection, your office has wireless, everybody can come in and everybody can start working. So thank you very much. My name is Peter Jobst. Again, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment below, and we'll see you next Friday with episode 4. And we are going to be talking about what are the next steps in opening up that office.